Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to this week's Cosmic Check-In. I am Tamara Jean, your soul architect and wellness astrologer here on High Vibe TV. It is July 15th, 2025. It is my solar return today. It was exact at 9:51 a.m. Pacific this morning, and what an interesting solar return it's been. Right, this energy being in Cancer season, which I'm all about. My daughter got me this beautiful little necklace. This is the Cancer constellation. But right now as I'm filming this, the sun's at 23 degrees and the moon is in Pisces. So there's just this deep, and I was drawn to this video. I hadn't come across this. This is a woman's channel. I believe her name is Molly Chinner, and it is encoded, it's 432 hertz. So I love, of course, that is right, very balancing, right? It helps balancing our brain with the right and left hemispheres. I feel it helps definitely balance like mind to body and in with the soul. And it really, I feel it activating imprints in our consciousness, in our soul blueprint, and just has some wonderful melodic toning with the frequencies, and you'll hear like the crystal bowl. Clearly it's got the water vibe going on, because we're really moving through a deeply sensitive and revealing energetic landscape right now, right, with the Cancer energy weaving in with that Piscean, like dreamy, but there's confronting energy with that too. And it's moving into Aries later this evening, 9:32, I believe it is, p.m. Pacific time, tonight on Tuesday, right? And that's going to really light the match for some big soul recalibrations, which I am sure most of you, if not all of you, are feeling currently. You know, we've had a lot of solar activity. Again, there was a solar flare with high winds and a massive coronal hole facing Earth just 2-3 days ago. And so that's kind of just hitting the Earth now. So I noticed my friend, she did take me out to breakfast this morning, and we decided to sit outside because it was a little cooler, slightly, for once. It's still very warm here, but it was very, very breezy, which it has not been. And I was like, oh yeah, the solar flare with the, you know, coronal hole and the high solar winds. And so that's really kicking up some stuff. You may be feeling it in your body, like detoxification, some allergies, gut stuff that is happening. And remember that Pisces does rule some things going on in the gut. So that can be a little bit activated for you. This also carries the energy of Atlantis, and feeling some things. I've been a lot of memories surfacing in your consciousness, but it's happening when you are still, like meditating, or there's not a lot of energetic noise around you, or perhaps dream time, or just thinking about it, feeling either Atlantis or Lemuria, right? They're very connected, like masculine, feminine. And so this may really feel calming and soothing and even supportive, and perhaps even activating a bit regarding those visions, thoughts, memories, because there's still, like I said, this is a revealing energy as well. And with the sun and sun in Cancer, moon in Pisces, so it's really opening up a very watery emotional channel. So, you know, can be highly attuned today. I feel like today that, you know, before the moon moves into Aries and does its 3/4 on Thursday and Mercury station retrograde in Leo, that, okay, we have this kind of more gentler, even though we're feeling some intensity and perhaps some of these subconscious fears, old patterns, things that emotions you may have been suppressing, right? A lot of these things kind of rising to the surface, revealing to you. So right, it is, and the moon is approaching Saturn and Neptune, right? Both retrograde in Aries. So it's like, where are you still avoiding? Right? A lot of perhaps some of these things that are surfacing and maybe old wounds. Thank you, Chiron, right? The sun is forming its square to Chiron. And so it is, where are you avoiding that? And, you know, coming up and meeting up with Saturn and Neptune, where are you avoiding responsibility? There's just a lot there in our own identity and leadership and how we communicate and express our truth, right? There's going to come a lot too with this, I feel, this Mercury retrograde, and where perhaps you've been, you know, I get it. Like, we have been so uncomfortable for a long time now, especially the last 5 years, very much so. And it's like, oh my gosh, I just want to break. Like, I just want to feel comfortable for just a little bit. However, it just isn't anymore. That is not alignment at this point in time. We are in this massive transition, and to really build from in rebuilding your soul architecture, because that's what's really happening from the inside out. And that is uncomfortable, right? And we all know that magic phrase of, right, magic happens outside of the comfort zone, and it may require you, you know, you have to listen to the soul yeses. This is where you need to operate from, not the mind. That's all of the old programming and conditioning, and where the inversion, the false light overlays and matrices that I've been talking about briefly, that's all in the distortion and the inversion that things have been operating from, including our own systems. So this process, and it truly is a reclamation, a soul reclamation and rebuild of your soul's architecture, through work and remembrance. So yes, from the soul out, your inner architecture. And it's going to continue to intensify, and we'll really feel that, and the tone's going to shift here as the moon moves into Aries later tonight, and feeling the fire, right? Preparing us for that 3rd quarter moon that's going to conjunct Chiron as the sun is squaring it. So, right, this is a key soul wound activation point. And so where you're going to be looking at is like, where are you ready to break the shell and heal? I feel it's one of those moments of that, I think it's a quote by Rumi of like the light, what is it? I'm seeing the imagery that I always associate with this saying of, like, it's your wounds are like where the light enters, something like that. Um, and I always see that visual of like a woman made of concrete, and right, and she's just sitting crisscross applesauce, and right like this, and she's got cracks in her body, but there's light shining from within through those cracks, and that's what I always see, and that's what I feel like we're experiencing with this energetic landscape, and we're needing to look at where we're holding on to safety so tightly because it's false. It's like it's false safety, and it's keeping you, it's holding you back, and it's keeping you from your own evolution, your own rebirth, and because that is you not trusting your soul, not trusting yourself. So there's a lot that may be going on too in your mind that may be leading to some, feeling of anxiety or nervousness, and feeling your nervous system like it's on freaking overload, right? Or being overstimulated. So, and I feel that with the moon in Aries, and because Aries does rule the brain and the cranial nerves, and so just those, and when Mercury, right? So we have the 3/4 moon in Aries, Mercury stationing retrograde in Leo, and just with that fire and it being Mercury, I just see and kind of get this sense of like racing thought, like fire, like there's going to be transformation, right? And that's going to pull your mind inward, and a review, of course, retrograde, right, of that, how we express ourselves and lead and shine, all those beautiful Leo qualities, and I'm just seeing it really connecting, like it's almost like the brain on fire, but connecting with the heart, and connecting with your heart is what is going to put the fire out. That's interesting. It's like I'm seeing, if you bring your awareness to your heart center and really focus, and you're anchoring here and listening to your soul's intelligence and following its guidance, it's almost like it extinguishes the inflammation, and that it looks like inflammation, like fire, but inflammatory, right, energetically, mentally, that has been feeding the old mental loop and internal conversation, as well as what comes out your mouth and the thoughts, and essentially or ultimately has been holding you back, and this listening and following and feeling, like I just see the inflammatory response just go down, and it's like calm, and then things like really will align for you. And now let's add in the human design layer, because I feel it's such a, now let's layer in those codes, right? We still have the sun in gate 62 of details, right? It's not enough to just feel it. We've got to name it and articulate it, and bring it to precision, which isn't a bad thing, right? But we don't want to get all but hyper focused. We still have the Earth in gate 61 in that gate of mystery, inner truth, the truths beyond logic, right? Making space for the mystical. So I feel like it helps in balancing that. Feels very like Pisces Virgo to me. You know, and those nodes are still in the same gates in the human design transit. Is it 47 and 2022? Now expressing through the third line. But I wanted to bring up Mercury is in gate 7, pointing to leadership, right? That is like leadership with integrity. So are you leading from ego, or are you leading from soul, right? From integrity. And then of course we still have Saturn and Neptune in gate 25 of unconditional love, still working with that return, right? And radical compassion for self and for others. And Uranus has moved, as I mentioned in my last video, into gate 20. Still, that's like presence, still in the one line. And so staying present, right, as you evolve, as everything gets disrupted and dismantled, right, and shaking things up, can you stay in your presence? And Pluto still in gate 41 in the root, expressing through that one line, right, in seeding the future and starting with your own integrity. And this is why it is so important to work with this deep connection with your soul and working with it and remembering, reconnecting, right? Doing that work there as you rebuild your inner architecture, especially through, you know, Saturn, Neptune retrograde, especially Saturn. So, right, from the soul out. So we are, right, we're dancing between details and mystery, which feels also like the feminine and the masculine, you know, individuality and collective, and presence and possibility. So it's such an extraordinary time. So this this solar return, my birthday today is just interesting. These are my words for this year: interesting, fascinating, intriguing. Like, this is, you know, kind of how it's got and continues to go. And that doesn't, it's not bad, or, you know, like, wow, it's like, oh, this is fascinating. This is very interesting. And waves of things, you know. So, right, this is not a week for forcing answers. We're really working on deconditioning that within ourselves, right? Softening into awareness, noticing where there's tension points, allowing discomfort to show you where you are still having blocks, where possibly still where you need to work, where healing is ready to land. And so let yourself feel the water to fire transition, right? Continue to be present. I just pause. Just pause, reflect. Mercury's going to join the retrograde party, and you know, in honor that, right, and what is going on within you, but you're not here to bypass the discomfort. Like I said, I get it, and how sometimes we're just like, oh my gosh, I'm so exhausted, and it's okay to where you take a day and you're like, oh my God, okay, I just need to take a break, unplug, or what have you. But then, you know, it is because there is no room anymore there's no wiggle room with, the upgraded, the new chessboard, right? The upgraded grid and your own up leveling that is required. And you cannot operate the old way any longer and expect to experience what you actually do want to experience. So, right, you're here to meet, embrace, welcome the sacred threshold at this point of your soul's evolution, remembrance, becoming, and right, it's your invitation. So thank you, and thank you for the birthday blessings that I have received. I've received messages from some of you, and thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Louise, for the beautiful gift. So grateful for all of you, and to continue to be able to be here on High Vibe and share my gifts with all of you. Just so very blessed and grateful. Thank you so much. And I will see you all back here on Friday.